What's up, you guys? Welcome back to WideBody Nation. This is your monthly car buying power dollars video. And long story short, RIP power dollars, because Dodge has basically hit that delete button on your incentives, whether you're financing, whether you're leasing. If you're in the market right now for a new or used car, I am sorry. I recently purchased another car that replaced the 2021 Dodge Charger SRT Hellcat REDEYE WideBody that was stolen back in Dallas in April. Well, was it March? It was April. But anyway, RIP to that car as well. This video is going to give you an idea of just how bad the incentives are for new cars right now, and the very tiny things that I'm going to say in this video that can eke you out 500, 1,000, couple $1,000 here and there. If you can stack those together, you might just be able to get a fair deal. Not going to call it a great deal compared to 2019 or early 2020 because, folks, it's crazy out there right now. So we're going to jump right into it. Hit that subscribe button. Jump down in the comments. Let me know if you bought your car pre-craziness of 2021 or if you're trying to buy a car right now, what you're looking for. And I can start doing some of those more personalized videos for you guys that I used to do a few months ago. So let's jump into it. So the main focus of this video is on power dollars, right? Or the lack thereof, because power dollars is actually just kind of a marketing term for the retail consumer cash or the cash rebate, whatever you want to call it. The dealerships probably don't call them power dollars anymore because power dollars kind of died in 2020. So in order to find out what the current incentives are, let's say you're watching this months or potentially years from now, you need to just go to the Dodge website or whatever manufacturer, Toyota, Chevy, Hyundai. They all have roughly the same setup. So go to their shopping tools, go to their view incentives and offers, and that's going to take you into their incentives and offers, more or less. I mean, this is kind of the power dollar zone, as I would like to call it. Now, obviously, I am preferential to the Charger. I like the 4 doors. I like gapping people that had 2 doors for the short time that I had my REDEYE. I had the REDEYE D badge for a little bit, so a lot of SCAT packs, RIP in peace, in around Atlanta. A lot of SCAT packs out there were trying to play when the REDEYE was D badge, and I don't know, that's all we'll say about that. So let's say you're in the market let's say you go for a Charger. Let's go show all offers. And this is for the month of June, obviously, because we're filming this mid-June. That's my fault for getting this out mid-June, not early June. Because usually the incentives refresh themselves at the beginning-ish of each month. Usually it's like the 1st through the 4th, depending on kind of how the weekend falls. Because as you guys know, weekends are big days for car dealerships, I should say. Now, Dodge has reformatted their website since the last time we did a video, so it's a little bit different down here, just requires a little more scrolling. Now, as most of you guys know, usually Dodge is trying to really incentivize selling their V6 and potentially even their 5.7 liter, the 340 V8s, pretty aggressively. But right now, all these Chargers and Challengers are pretty much selling themselves, guys, because I was at the Dodge dealership the other day, and they made a good point. When people show up to the dealership, they say, I need a Ram 1500 or I need a Dodge Charger with a V8. Rather than the curse of creativity showing them 10 or 20 or 30 of whatever they're asking for, they've only got 1 or 2. And then unless that person wants to up and leave and go to another dealership that's 10, 20, 60 minutes away, that's all they got. So these cars, they're selling themselves, folks. So let's jump into it. SXT, $1,500 off. GT, $1,500, RT, $1,500 off. This is right here, $1,500. But here's the kicker. You jump up to SCAT packs, still only $1,500 off. Now, we'll get to the APR in a second. We'll get to the 0% in a second. But folks, just a reminder that at this time last year, you were rocking $10 off per horsepower. So if you were getting a SCAT pack, narrow body or wide body, $4,850 off, $4,850 off, plus whatever else you can negotiate. And back then, you could negotiate a good chunk of change as a dealer discount. Even in Cali, some people were getting good deals, which I know there's a lot of Cali folks out there that are getting hosed right now, paying 6 figures for Hellcat REDEYEs. But that is later in the video. So, if you are financing, I would probably recommend, this is just generic opinion, not financial advice. Consult your CPA, financial advisor, local wizard, whatever it may be. $1,500 or 0% for 72. Even if you're going to pay it off sooner, that 0%, you might as well lock in that 0% because that's essentially free money right now. And as you guys know, inflation may or may not be a big deal right now. That's all we'll say on that for this video. My recommendation for any of these, take the 0% unless you're just paying cash. You want that $1,500 off. Try to negotiate a little more. We'll get to some more negotiating stuff later in the video. Now here's the deal, folks. You thought SCAT packs and RTs were bad? Check out these Hellcats. 2,000 off. 2,000 off. Last month it was 4,000. When I bought mine, it was 6,000 off. And what I mean is that the cash off incentive, you could take 6,000 or 0% for 72. Now it's 2,000 or 0% for 72. And folks, at one point when the super stocks first came out, and I know there's a lot of you nerds out there that are like, oh, the super stocks for 2020, there was only a few, whatever, 100 of them or a few thousand, whatever, and dealerships weren't selling them. Technically, Dodge was giving over $8,000 off power dollars for the 2020 super stock. Now, regardless of your super stock, Redeye, regular Hellcat, you're getting $2,000 off or you're getting 0%. This is a no-brainer. Even if you are financially capable of putting $100K down and just buying a car with fat stacks like Godspeed, just throwing stacks around at that last YouTuber call out, rolling up, towing his drag Challenger with his, Trackhawk. And I do like the wraps on those cars. Those were fresh. I would still take the 0% for 72 because that's free money. You could put that money into just an index fund. Again, just my opinion, not financial advice, but you could put that money into an index fund, let the bank take the risk, get some gap insurance if you want to feel real good about yourself. And that index fund is going to go earn 5, 10, or more percent year over year. Anyway, again, not financial advice, but this just tells you how much the market, the car buying scene right now, supply is destroyed right now, whether it's semiconductors, whether it's turn signal stocks, whether it's the left rear tire because that for some reason on your Corvette cannot be supplied. These cars are made by thousands and thousands of parts, and some of them are so crucial. I mean, you can swap tires out, you can swap certain things out, but the semiconductors that are used to make the chips, it's a widespread shortage. So Tesla is probably flexing on Dodge, and Apple is probably flexing on these other companies, and supply is just destroyed. Plus, demand right now is through the roof. So that's the issue you're running into. Just to show you guys, and generally speaking, the Challenger is the same deal. The 2021 Challenger, same deal. If it's a SCAT pack or less, $1,500 off. If it's a Hellcat or more, $2,000 off. So you're getting basically no money off. Supply wise, if you're looking for a V8 Charger, I have it sorted here on cars.com. Brand new V8 Chargers, there's only about 1,300 of them in the country, and that includes just RTs. That's not SCAT pack enough. That's RT enough. So any V8 Charger, there's only 1,300 new ones on the lot and in transit because cars.com a lot of times populates with in-transit cars. For Challengers, V8s, pretty similar, about 1,450 cars that have V8s, RT and up on the lots or in transit, which, as you guys know, if you've watched the channel for about a year now, this time last year, we're talking multi-thousands of cars with V8s. I mean, if you were willing to drive, you were getting a steal of a deal. You're talking $5,000 off roughly for power dollars, and then you're getting more off for a dealer discount. So, what should you do? Well, if you have a trade-in, you're in better shape than if you don't. And why do I say that? Because not only does the trade-in give you tax incentives when you trade it in most states, whatever your trade-in value is, that comes off the taxable amount. So say you were buying a car that was 50K and your trade-in was worth 30, your taxable amount would be 50 minus 30K, and then you would be getting taxed only on the difference, because I believe the rationale is the state says, okay, well, that person already paid taxes on whatever that car was new, so when they're trading it in, we might as well give them a little bit of incentive to go ahead and trade that in towards another new car and only charge them taxes on the difference. Anyway, owe you guys a full video on that. I got to research and make sure that's the same in every state, but every car I've bought and had a trade in, it's been like that. And that's over a dozen cars. So I get a lot of you messaging me on Instagram and you're saying, hey man, like dealerships trying to hose me, charging me 5K over, 10K over, 7K over, whatever it may be. But you have a trade-in. You got to go to it, because that's the problem right now. The dealerships know they have you shoehorned in to their car. You know, it's a Go Mango REDEYE with a sepia interior, whatever it is. They know they've got you. So you got to go take your trade-in to a different Dodge dealership, ideally. I mean, if you can take it to a different, like, you know, CarMax, Vroom, whatever, take it somewhere where you can actually get a hard valuation in hand, or maybe on your phone, because it is 2021 and you guys aren't boomers. So bring it to them and say, hey, I know you want to give me 29 for this trade-in, but I can sell this thing to Vroom for 33, 35, whatever. Hopefully it is that significant. Now, they're going to come back at you and say, hey, well, you know, we have the car that you want here and there's tax savings, but you already know that. And because you know that, you can leverage that against them and hopefully make the deal. Now, I'm not making any guarantees here, because right now the dealerships, like I said, the cars are literally selling themselves. I mean, the salesmen are basically just middlemen right now. They're sitting there, middlemen or women, because, you know, it is 2021. They're sitting there, people come in, they buy the car. Half the time, the salespeople, I've talked to them multiple times right here at the local Dodge dealership, AutoNation South, Columbus, Georgia. Half the time, the truck shows up and the people are there waiting for it, and the salesman is showing up to work at, you know, 8:50 because he starts at 9, and he's like, well, oh, there's a new truck. And then there's a customer sitting there pointing at the car like, hey, I want that one. The cars are selling themselves. So you guys are swimming upstream right now. You got a nickel and dime your way to a decent deal. You know, do I recommend rushing to buy a car right now? It really depends on if you can find that dealership that can give you a good deal. The thing I'll leave you with, because this video is starting to ramble on a little bit, I'll chunk it up and do another one. But search for car dealerships that are outside of the beaten trail, you know, kind of out in the rural areas perhaps, or maybe they're kind of in this weird area near the city but not in the city and they're not as popular. Or when you drive by their lot, if their lot is barren, then you know they have to give you a good deal for your trade-in. And if they don't, then move on to the next one, because the car dealerships that have just bare lots right now, they are hurting for anything. They're trying to sell beer cans, they're trying to sell whatever just to move metal, because that's a term, moving metal, to get credit for just doing something at this point. That's how low supply is and that's how high demand is. So lessons from this video: power dollars super low. In my opinion, you should probably look at that 0% APR for 72, even if you've got the cash to do it, because you could just invest that cash somewhere else. And then lastly, shop around that trade-in to try to get the tax savings and the highest trade-in value, you know, so you can get it at the dealership where you want that specific car. Lastly, you could order a car. Lord knows when it's going to show up, but I guess I'll do another video on ordering a car, because the scene has changed since I did one on ordering a car specifically with these Dodges. So appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you guys are subscribed down below. We have to do our 5,000 subscriber giveaway later this week. And yeah, we'll have to decide what the next target is, probably 10,000 subs, and we'll get creative with that one. So appreciate you guys tuning in. Hit that like button on your way out, and I appreciate it. See you guys for the next video.